Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. We cannot be more sensitive to pleasure without being more sensitive to pain. There will always be suffering, but we must not suffer over the suffering. Every individual is a unique manifestation of the whole, as every branch is a particular outreaching of the tree. Life exists only at this very moment, and in this moment it is infinite and eternal, for the present moment is infinitely small. Before we can measure it, it has gone, and yet it exists forever. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. But I'll tell you what hermits realize. If you go off into a far, far forest and get very quiet, you'll come to understand that you're connected with everything. When you get free from certain fixed concepts of the way the world is, you find it is far more subtle, and far more miraculous, than you thought it was. There is always something taboo, something repressed, unadmitted, or just glimpsed quickly out of the corner of one's eye because a direct look is too unsettling. Taboos lie within taboos, like the skin of an onion. No valid plans for the future can be made by those who have no capacity for living now. I have realized that the past and future are real illusions, that they exist in the present, which is what there is and all there is. This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. If you really understand Zen, you can use any book. You could use the Bible. You could use Alice in Wonderland. You could use the dictionary, because the sound of the rain needs no translation. Try to imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Now try to imagine what it was like to wake up having never gone to sleep. Only words and conventions can isolate us from the entirely undefinable something which is everything. Meditation is the discovery that the point of life is always arrived at in the immediate moment. The sense of wrong is simply failure to see where something fits into a pattern, to be confused as to the hierarchical level upon which an event belongs. You didn't come into this world. You came out of it, like a wave from the ocean. You are not a stranger here. To be free from convention is not to spurn it but not to be deceived by it. The more we struggle for life, as pleasure, the more we are actually killing what we love. Everyone has love, but it can only come out when he is convinced of the impossibility and the frustration of trying to love himself. Life and love generate effort, but effort will not generate them. Faith in life, in other people, and in oneself, is the attitude of allowing the spontaneous to be spontaneous, in its own way and in its own time. Parts exist only for purposes of figuring and describing, and as we figure the world out we become confused if we do not remember this all the time. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. Total situations are, therefore, patterns in time as much as patterns in space. We do not come into this world, we come out of it, as leaves from a tree. As the ocean waves, the universe peoples. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple. And yet, everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. To put it still more plainly, the desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the same thing. To hold your breath is to lose your breath. But the attitude of faith is to let go, and become open to truth, whatever it might turn out to be. You are a function of what the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing. We seldom realize, for example, that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own. For we think in terms of languages and images which we did not invent, but which were given to us by our society. The greater part of human activity is designed to make permanent those experiences and joys which are only lovable because they are changing. Philosophy is man's expression of curiosity about everything and his attempt to make sense of the world primarily through his intellect. Parts exist only for purposes of figuring and describing, and as we figure the world out we become confused if we do not remember this all the time.